Here are the most common mistakes to avoid when installing guardrails or handrails. Mistake 1. Not installing a guardrail where needed. Regardless of the height, a fall can lead to serious injuries. Installing a guardrail isn't just to prevent falls of more than 3 meters. It should be installed anywhere there is an edge, such as around floor holes, stair openings, in window and door openings, and on balconies. It's also necessary to install handrails on the open sides of stairs. Often, it's obvious that a guardrail is necessary, but sometimes it's less so. That's why it's important to consider the situation and the environment. Mistake 2. Not planning for temporary removals. You are at a risk of falling as soon as a guardrail is removed. You must wear a harness connected to an anchor point by a fall arrest connector every time a guardrail is removed. And the work area must be delineated to block access to other workers by installing a warning line, for example. Mistake 3. Using a poorly designed guardrail. A guardrail of poor design is less resistant. It's mandatory to install posts at every 1.8 meters maximum so that the guardrail can withstand impacts. The total height must be between 1 and 1.2 meters. And the mid-rail must be placed at mid-height. Make sure to install the top rail at the correct height in window openings. If it's too low, there's a risk of going over it. If it's too high, there's a risk of going under it. Mistake 4. Installing a guardrail without all its components. A guardrail isn't effective if components are missing. Mid-rails must be installed in the openings of large windows and patio doors. Just top rails aren't enough. In any opening that exceeds 1.8 meters in width, a post must be added in the middle. And the installation of a toe board is necessary to prevent tools or materials from falling. When installing a middle system on a roof, it may be necessary to add a toe board when there is no parapet. Mistake 5. Poorly securing the guardrail. A guardrail that is poorly screwed or fixed to the floor will give way during an impact. The right screws or nails must be used. They must be in sufficient quantity and positioned in the right place. When choosing a metal or steel cable guardrail, select a model suited to the situation and always install it according to the manufacturer's instructions. Mistake 6. Using a metal stud as a rail. Metal studs will give way during an impact. Components must be able to resist a horizontal force of 900 newtons and a vertical force of 450 newtons. To ensure adequate resistance, all components must have the correct dimensions. To ensure compliance and to facilitate assembly, it's recommended to use 2x4s throughout. Components must be in good condition without split wood, rot, or patched pieces. Mistake 7. Working in situations where the guardrail no longer protects against falls. You are protected against falls only when your feet are at ground level. When climbing a step ladder, or when you find yourself higher than ground level, the guardrail must be raised. If the situation doesn't allow it, you have to use a fall arrest system. Guardrails are essential to prevent the risk of falls. That's why it's important to ensure they are installed when necessary and to know how to do it properly. Turn to the APCHQ's prevention programs and action sheets for more details and all the safety instructions you need to know.